You're kind of trying to emulate Leon Russell's playing, which is pretty much perfect for what Freddie was doing.
But from our general area, because he is a Fort Worth guy. You're
That's
more
right.
Fort Worth than Dallas, right?
West Side.
Yeah.
And I broke 5 strings on it. And when the strings break, they lay across the pickup and short it out. So it just like...
Nobody would have thought that I would be the one. Rhyner, sports talk.
Baseball, 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 baseball.
Oh, with the big mic. Oh, okay. All right, yeah. Okay, now I get it.
We got a lightning strike, boys. What happened over there, Grego? We had a little lightning strike right outside the window.
Texas Rangers win the World Series.
All right. Here's a tip for all these Americano League teams.
Wait, you said tip?
Yeah, tip.
Okay.
With a P.
Keep jamming.
The ticket, colon, nothing but a big Gen X jerk-off sale.
This is a cool night or what? Although somebody would hear that and go, bullshit.
I'm back, bitches.
Well, hoy hoy, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Your Dark Companion. Good to have you with us. I would say this afternoon, but in the world of the podcast, it could be any time. It could be in the depth of night. It could be very early in the morning. Could be any time, because the podcast lasts forever, but we don't. Let's see. This is the, 4th of March? Or is it the 5th?
4th, yes.
Oh, 4th. All right. How about that? Nailed it.
Pretty awesome, Shoopy.
Yes, it is the 4th of March. And today, on this episode 201.
Wow.
Yeah.
Legacy.
We're going to talk a little music today. And we got one of the best players that I've ever heard, really, around here not from our fair burg, but from our general area, because he is a Fort Worth guy. You're
That's
more
right.
Fort Worth than Dallas, right?
West Side.
Yeah. He is a keyboard player extraordinaire, and when you look at who he's plied his craft with, you will understand that they take him very seriously. You should too. He is Louis Stevens.
Thank you, Mike.
How are you, man?
I'm great.
It's good to see you.
Made the drive, got here.
Yep, you did make the drive,
chair,
got here, and
good chair.
Yep, good chair. We always try to have good chairs and good vibes for everybody here inside the mothership.
I can feel it.
Well, it's interesting because Louis is kind of a one of one in terms of YDC guests. I've not had too many people. In fact, I've had just one, him, contact me and say, hey, why don't you have me on your podcast? I played with this guy. I played with that guy. I got stories. You need me on your podcast. Well, it just so happened that I knew who he was. So, yes, of course, I recognized him. In that same way, everybody recognizes him as one of the very best keyboard players that we have here in the area. So, of course, we will have you on here with us.
I'm happy to be here.
Well, we appreciate you. Now, I became aware of you a long, long time ago. I don't remember everybody that was in the band, but I remember you were in it. It was a 4-piece. You were in it. And Mike Kennedy was on drums. And there was a guitar player and bass player.
Oh.
That may be too long for you.
Bobby Wilcox was on bass.
Yeah.
And Bill Owens was a guitar player. I can't, for the life of me, remember the name of the band. But, boy, we had a lot of fun.
Well, you were good, too,
That was
man. That was a really good band.
I was probably 16 or 17 then.
Wow. Yeah. And look at you now.
Look at me now. I'm old, but feel young.
Now, you tell us that your mom started you on keys.
She did. That was probably 1959. I was 5 years old. And Van Cliburn won the Tchaikovsky Medal in Russia.
Mm-hmm.
a Texas boy, another Texas boy.
Right.
And every mother in Texas wanted their son to grow up to be Van Cliburn. So my mother bought the neighbor's piano, a big upright grand, you know, weighed a ton. 6 men moved it across the front yards into our living room. And she found a piano teacher for me and started me on piano lessons when I was 5 years old.
Now, what did you think of piano lessons at the age of 5? Frequently, the mind of a 5-year-old will wander pretty steadily.
And mine did. I wanted to do other things like kids do, you know, ride bicycles, play baseball, and all those things.
Play with crayons.
Yeah, anything, you know, digging the dirt. I love digging
I
digging
still
holes.
like doing that.
Man, I love digging holes. I dug a hole today.
Let's go dig one right now.
Working on a drainage system. But she started me in classical piano lessons at 5 years old, and it was very regimented, you know, very structured.
Yeah.
The music. I mean, you didn't vary, you didn't ad lib, you didn't improvise. You played the music from the sheet. And you know, I wanted to do other things, but she was very disciplined when I wasn't, and kept me on it, which I'm glad. You know, she kept me in classical piano for 10 years, and had some great recitals and did some fun things around Fort Worth, and it really was the basis, you know, for the musical knowledge and ability, that classical piano and the scales and the chords and all that formal stuff.
I can kind of tell because every time I've seen you play, it's what sticks out. I mean, you have
Technique.
the technique of somebody who's been classically trained.
And you get that from the classical training and the discipline of it and the technical aspect of it.
Yeah.
Whereas just going out and learning it by ear is a different thing.
Now, frequently, if anybody out there has played with somebody that's got that kind of training, they do have good technique, but they don't have a lot of feel for music or a lot of soul or anything like that. Lewis has got both. Lewis is total package here.
Thank you.
How was that hard for you to acquire, or the?
It was kind of it was the time of Ed Sullivan and the Beatles, you know,
Yeah.
and that really got my attention. And when I was in 6th grade, I wanted to play guitar. So
I see that's about where I was about to go because,
Yeah.
you know, we are talking about the time of the Beatles.
Right.
And once they were on Ed Sullivan, everybody wanted to play guitar.
So I got a guitar, and I didn't know the technical aspects of the guitar. So I played by ear, and that's what broke me from having to have music, you know, reading music.
Right.
And got me into the improvisational and the feel, the soul, as you say.
Yeah.
So that was the big turning point for popular music. You know, when I'd stopped taking piano lessons and got a guitar in 6th grade, started a band with a friend of mine, Mike Anderson, from White Settlement, Texas. We had a 3-piece band, 2 guitars and a drummer. We played the, you know, little private parties and school events and things like that.
Yeah,
So,
I was in a couple bands like that too.
real turning point.
Yeah, bass players were hard to find back then.
Yeah, just, you didn't need it. Don't need it. Still don't need it. I got a left hand.
Do you think your mom saw something in you, or was she just trying to give you something to do, or just guessing, or
I think she had a dream. You know, she shared an ambition, I guess, that I didn't have at that time. You know, she had actually played violin in school. She grew up in Mineral Wells, Texas, even further west, and so she had a little basis in music, not anything serious. But she liked it. Her and her cousin would get together on the upright grand piano. He played piano, and they'd do gospel songs and things around the house. So there was that influence going on. But I was adopted, so she really wanted me.
Yeah.
You know, they made a point to get me.
Yeah.
And she wanted the best, I think, for me. And they were basic human beings, my mom and dad. They worked hard, you know. My dad worked 2 jobs. She worked in the school lunchroom. But they had dreams for me. And so she started this journey for me. And it really gave me a great life, you know.
Yeah. Now, you send me some stuff and of the people that you've worked with and everything. There are a couple of names on there that I found to be pretty noteworthy, guys that I remember. But you're a Fort Worth guy, and people over here in Dallas may not have a tremendous background with these people. One of them is John Nitzinger.
Yeah, John. I used to sneak into Gertie's and Mother Blues when I was still in high school and watch people play and occasionally sit in, and had come to know John through another band I played with called Chelsea out of Fort Worth. That was Sliding Stevie Davis and Gary Carnes and Randy Bean. And so the night that I graduated from high school, my girlfriend and I at the time went to Gertie's at 18. I guess it was, I don't think it was quite legal then, but John got me in, and so I sat and watched them. I always loved Nitzinger. Nitzinger used to play the White Settlement Youth Center with Curly Benton and Linda Waring, just a three-piece.
Yes.
And then
that was a great band.
Yeah. Mind-boggling what they sounded like. John was a great songwriter. So they added Bugs, and Bugs was playing with John at the time, and it was a four-piece band.
Mm-hmm.
So that night, John asked me if I'd want to be in the band because he'd come and seen me play with Chelsea a few times. And I thought, boy, this is a dream come true. Little did I know what was coming after that. But, I mean, I was very excited. So we did that for about 3 months, and the band literally blew up in Killeen at a Fort Hood dance. Everything just kind of went haywire. John was having too much fun. Started a song that goes da 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 da, that song that he and Bugs used to do.
Right.
And he wouldn't get off of it. 20 minutes in, he's still da 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 da.
Oh my gosh.
So after about 30 minutes, I tore a piece of duct tape off the Leslie switch. You know, all the Leslie switches are taped on because they break off.
Right.
Taped down 2 G's on the organ, pushed the pedal all the way down, took a taxi back to the hotel. So that was my exit from the Nitzinger band. And John goes into Jack Calmese's office, president of Shoko, on Monday morning and said, "What's going on?" He said, "Well, I got good news and bad news. Bugs, Linda, and Lewis have all quit." He said, "What's the worst news?" He said, "Well, Randy Bean didn't quit. So you have a 2-piece band now." So that was the end of my Nitzinger experience, but it was good. You know, we played some great shows, and it rocked.
There are a lot of people over here who may not remember that name or may not have ever known it to begin with, but there was a time back in the day when it looked like John Nitzinger was going to blow up nationwide. He got a deal with Capitol Records, I believe. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, they put a lot behind him.
Yeah, he did the whole Carney tour with Leon. I mean, he was destined to be the next big thing.
Yeah. And
not sure what happened, but it didn't work out that way. I mean, it's Linda talks about it still. You know the trajectory that they were on.
Yeah.
It was all up, and then just kind of petered out for some reason. But John, like I say, John was a great songwriter. He wrote a bunch of acoustic songs we recorded at Pantego, kind of as a demo. Just beautiful songs. You know, very talented.
Yeah.
guy.
Now, if you talk about Nitzinger, you got to talk about Bugs too, because you had a little experience with him as well.
I played a lot with Bugs. After Nitzinger broke up, we were going to start a band with the Bugs and the guys from Gladstone. I can't remember their names, but anyway, we did a few rehearsals, and we're about to start playing live. And about that time, that's when Jack Calmese called about the Freddie King gig.
Yeah,
and so that, for me, that kind of went sideways. But I always played with Bugs basically, until he got sick, and did a lot of shows with Bugs. Bugs opened a lot of shows for Freddie.
Yeah.
And I would play with both.
Yeah.
I'd play with Bugs and play with Freddie. And those were some hot, hard nights on a grand piano, 4 sets, A lot of blood.
Yeah.
A lot of blood.
Boy, Bugs was just an incredible player. And, once he got things turned around and on
Yep.
the right track. He was just a great guy.
He
I
was.
mean, I'm really honored that at one point the great Bugs Henderson actually knew who I was.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
We went to see Bugs about maybe 2 weeks before he passed. I called Patty to check on him, and she said, "Oh, he's burning me up. He turns the electric blanket up to as high as it'll go, and I sweat all night long." So I said, "Well, maybe we can do something about that." So Dee Dee and I went to Target and bought a 2-zone electric blanket and drove it to Tyler for Fort Worth. And took him that, and we sat around and watched old videos with Bugs, and his kids came over, and Nardo, and we all sat around and did that and had a nice visit, just before he passed.
Miss him. He was one of a kind.
Yeah, I love him. I remember the first time I met Patty, his second wife, was at J&J's in Fort Worth, and Bugs said, "This is the guy. This is the guy." They tell this story at campfires about the tearing the duct tape off and taping the organ down and leaving. So,
a really good keyboard player can single-handedly take a band to the next level. I mean, I'm all for guitar bands and stuff like that, but if you got a good keyboard player, that makes a big difference for me. Now, how do you approach it when you're playing with somebody that you never played with and may not even know them that well?
right. Well, what I try to do is make the song better. Try to make the artist sound better. Try to add something in there with the rhythm section, because I consider piano, bass, and drums to be the rhythm section, because piano is a rhythmic percussive instrument.
Yes, it is.
So I try to find a place in there where I can add something to it that kind of brings everything together and adds kind of a base for the novelty acts to play over the guitar players.
Yeah. Describe your relationship with the Hammond B3 organ.
My mom and dad bought me a Hammond BV, which was pre-percussion. It was an older version of the B3 when I was 16, and 2 Leslies out of the box. So I would stack those up, and they were pretty powerful sound. So I was playing Santana songs and Deep Purple, all that. First rock song I learned, and I learned it on that upright grand with half the keys missing, was Hush by Deep Purple. That great version they did. So that's kind of what started that, and then that wasn't working out, so we got the Hammond.
Did you ever have teachers, or were you?
No, I just kind of picked it up on my own. Played a lot of Doors music, on a Farfisa before I got the Hammond.
Yeah.
And then of course when Santana hit, Greg Rowley, keyboard player for Santana, I wanted to learn all those songs, and we played those in some of the cover bands that I worked with. And that was a good proving ground, good way to learn the Hammonds, kind of follow his lead.
Who are the keyboard guys who shaped you then and now?
Well, then it would be Greg Rowley and the Deep Purple guy. I've gone blank. John Lord. Yeah. John Lord. I loved his stuff. Growling, real distorted rock and roll, just pure rock and roll. And he was classically trained too.
Yeah. That's a very unique sound that he got too.
As far as after that, I like Richard Key, that played all the sessions and was in the band Stuff.
Yeah.
That was some great stuff, literally. And, there's some great...
He's kind of in that Tom Scott, wasn't he?
Yeah. And I really liked his playing. And there's some great current players. Kevin McKendry, that plays with Delbert and has his own record label in Nashville, is a great friend. We do a lot of two-man stuff together.
Yeah.
Reese Winans plays with Joe Bonamassa up until recently, and played with Stevie Ray.
Right.
In the Hall of Fame. Reese was a great player. We were good friends. We've done a lot of two-man, gigs. Played both of us playing. One of us on Hammond and one of us on piano. Marsha Ball, a real stylist. She's great. She's got that Louisiana and that's, that South Texas stuff down. I've known Marcia since the Freddie King days. She was in a band called Frida and the Fire Dogs that played the Armadillo.
Yeah,
So I've known her
I remember
since
the name.
Freddie was playing the Armadillo every 6 or 8 weeks. So she's a great friend.
I didn't start to see her until after she kind of went out on her own,
Yep.
and she used to play at places up this way,
Right.
a good bit, like Gertie's
Yeah. Oh,
and some of the others.
Yeah, she's a great human being, too. Has done a lot for musicians in Austin. They have several charities that she's helped co-found down there for musicians.
Well, do you love the B3 or do you hate it?
I love it. I'm using a Nord now when I travel light, and then we still get a B3 on backline gigs.
Yeah.
So I still play it all the time. So
The gear scene for keyboards has really changed because, back in the day, you would hear B3s, you would hear acoustic pianos on records.
right.
But if you were going to try and, try that on stage, number one, you were going to have a crew of about 4
Right.
guys just to move them around.
Right.
And nobody had that.
Yeah.
And I don't even know, I never saw anybody really try it with an acoustic piano back then. If
Yeah.
you were going to play something that had piano in it, you used a Whirly or something like that.
Yeah. And those are still great instruments. Whirly's one of my favorite sounds.
Yeah, they are.
Adds
but,
a lot of texture.
But that's a sound of its own, you know?
It's a whole, and you play it different.
Yeah.
It's a different feel. But we were lucky with Freddie. He always had piano and B3 on the back line. So I would have an acoustic piano. And I learned on a Nitzinger gig, as a matter of fact, the first big show we did in Houston, opening for Chuck Berry. There's a guy named Charlie Helpenstiel, piano player from Houston.
Right.
Charlie invented this piano pickup that went on the piano, and they were going to be the backing band for Chuck Berry that night. So he had installed his piano pickup on the acoustic piano, grand piano, and I heard this music. I mean, it filled the whole hall, on their sound check. So I got up there and got on it, and I could be as loud as any guitar that's ever been played. And for the first time, you could hear that acoustic.
Boy, that must have gave you chills.
Oh, it was life changing. And then for that night, I started one song off with like a improvisational kind of classical sounding thing, one of Nitzinger songs, and the place just went berserk. It was so loud and so tasteful, in my opinion. It was pretty good. And so that I had to have one. So I had number 002.
Good Lord.
So I had like the second one that he sold.
The second helping still, huh?
Yeah. And it got stolen out of our equipment truck in Chicago, Lakeshore Holiday Inn. They got in there and got Benny's boots, got my helping steel, and a few other little things out of there. So Jack Calmes went and bought another one at Arnold and Morgan and flew it up to New York for the next gig. It was that important to the sound of the show.
I'll bet.
And I've still got that. The second one was, I think, in the 70s, 77 or something like that. And I've still got it up in my attic.
Have you got your own acoustic piano?
I do. I have a Baldwin Grand at home that I used to record. I have a home set up where I can send tracks out all over the world. I just did a project that was recorded at Abbey Road. I sent the piano, organ, and Wurlitzer out via Dropbox. I mean, it's amazing technology. I don't know how it works. I know how to do what I need to do, and that's as far as my knowledge of how Pro Tools works. But
is it okay to ask which artist you did that for?
I did that for Albert Castilla. He's one of the Gulf Coast. He's Mike Zito's best friend, and he's in the Blood Brothers with us.
Nice.
So they went in there as a 3-piece, and great sound. Drums, I mean, just thunderous drums.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So, but did that and sent it off, and God dropped it in, and they're mixing it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's so fun to be able to do that.
Talk a little bit about how the keyboard gear scene has changed over the years.
It was acoustic pianos, then the budget changed, and a lot of times they would get that old Yamaha CP70. You remember that thing that fit together in 2 pieces and folded down, and all that. So that was the next best thing. It was kind of tinny, but it was a good alternative to not having to play a Rhodes or something like that.
Yeah.
And so that went on for a while. The strings were very thin. We when I was playing with Vassar Clements, we did an opening slot with Dixie Dregs, that kind of jazz country funk band.
Yeah.
And I broke 5 strings on it. And when the strings break, it lay across the pickup and short it out. So it just like.
No.
So on a set change, there was a lot of scrambling with Dixie Dregs crew trying to put these strings on the piano and get them out. And then, it went to the digital piano, just the boards, like the Yamaha digital pianos, which sounded great. That came along. And then the next change for me was Paul Thorne came on Delbert's cruise. We've done almost all Delbert's cruises. And Paul Thorne came, and their guy Michael had this little red keyboard. And I was listening to a Hammond organ, but I didn't see a Hammond organ on stage.
Yeah.
So I said, "What is this sorcery?" And went up and
You must have seen the Nord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I later, a few years after that, bought my first electro Nord that I used with a Yamaha piano. I set it up on a higher tier and used that for my organ parts. And it sounds, I A-B'd it to my organ in my house when I first got it, and it was almost indistinguishable. Even the Leslie clone that it has in it is just perfect. You can make it growl, you can turn the gain down. It gives you a lot of different things you can do. It has a stop on it, so you can go to that old jazz sound.
They really sound great, and you're right. There's very little that they can't do.
I've used it on recordings, and nobody's ever asked, "Is it real?"
It's pretty good.
I'm an endorsed artist with them now, so I can't be. I'm very happy with their products. They're really good, and they have a good piano action. Feels like a piano. You can hear where the attack is, where it's hitting. It's an amazing instrument. Amazing company.
It really is. What's been the hardest gig you've ever had? I mean, from the standpoint of what you had to learn, what you had to prepare for, what you had to get ready for.
Yeah, maybe the Freddie gig, because that was a real quick turnaround thing. I got a call from Jack Calmes, and he said, "Well, how would you like to play with Freddie?" I said, "Sure, I'd like to try out the gig, And he said, "Well, come get these 3 Shelter records, the 3 Leon Russell produced Freddie King records, vinyl." So I went and got those from him and took them home and did the needle off to learn the songs and everything. And there was a lot of nuance in Freddie's songs. And I mean, you're kind of trying to emulate Leon Russell's playing, which is pretty much perfect for what Freddie was doing. Leon was an incredible player and arranger. So I had a week to prepare for the first gig with Freddie.
How many songs did you have to learn?
10 on 3 albums, 30 songs, because I had no idea. I'd never met him, never talked to him. I didn't have a set list or anything. I kind of went prepared for all of it. And some of it was just jamming blues and shuffles and things like that. Yeah. But so I learned those 30 songs, flew to Atlanta, drove to a place called Lake Spivey that was a kind of an outdoor concert venue, 15,000 people, something like that. So I met Freddie at the top of the stairs, walking on the stage, and the band. We all shook hands and went to our separate locations and started playing. So after that set, he asked if I'd play with him. I did, and it was spent a great 3 years with Freddie, playing with everybody in the world at that point.
Man, he was so great. You talk about a guy who could command a room.
Yeah, he would take over when he got on stage.
Yeah,
Clapton would stand kind of back and let him go. So it was fun to watch.
Now, talking about preparing for gigs, I did kind of want to nerd out a little, or at least try to understand a little better. Like, when you are learning 30 songs in a week, saw you also mention in an interview too of, you would take the needle off the record
Right.
and stuff like that. But like, are you taking notes of, writing down what you did? Or
I didn't at that time because my mind was better. I could
Fair enough.
remember. But now I do charts.
Okay.
I do kind of dummy charts for myself that are not what you'd call Nashville number system. Really formal charts, but enough that I can get through the song without having to make a lot of mistakes.
Does the song generally stick with you pretty quick once you listen to it a few times? Or?
Yeah.
Man, I wish I could do that.
Playing through it live really helps.
Okay.
To remember it, because it's always a little different than the record. So, the on-the-job training is kind of where it all gels.
That's awesome.
But at least I have enough notes that I can get through start to finish without having to bump it. And I can do that too. I can bump, hit on the and of one or two when a chord change happens, because I can hear where it's going.
Okay.
So I can do that, and it kind of makes it work well enough. Not ideal, not perfectly comfortable, but I can get through it that way if I have to.
But you're generally able to also still kind of add your own little embellishments and improvs and stuff like that.
Yeah, I certainly do that. I don't play. If somebody wants me to play a part that's exactly like the record, I said, well, you should get them to come do it. Because
they're going to bring you in.
I hear it differently. Everybody hears it different.
Sure.
And I'm going to hear it different, 2 or 3 times through. If I'm doing a recording project and we do 3 passes, they're all going to be different. Not necessarily one better than the other, but different. Mm-hmm. So I don't try to do a note for note kind of thing.
Nice.
So
it's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
I wish I understood music.
Well, I've been doing it a long time.
Fair.
66 years now.
That'll do it.
That'll do it.
Wow. That's a hot minute.
Yeah.
For sure. All right, Lewis Stevens is with us today. We'll have more with Lewis coming up, but right now it is time for the dreaded and feared mid-show read.
Don't be scared.
That's right. This is where we start to mean business around here.
Uh-oh.
What are we doing first? Okay. Well, yeah, I guess. The Eric Nadel birthday benefit concert is coming up. It's celebrating its 14th edition, featuring 2 of Eric's favorite bands, Brooklyn-based Sammy Ray and the Friends, and Bay Area favorite Chuck Prophet and the Kumbia Shoes.
He's great.
The benefit supports the work of the Grant Halliburton Foundation. That's a local nonprofit that provides mental health education, training, and support to teens and families. To learn more, visit granthalliburton.org. Sponsor tables and suites are available through the Grant Halliburton Foundation. Visit granthalliburton.org/Eric Nadel to learn more or to purchase a sponsorship at Eric Nadel's birthday benefit presented by Haynes Boone and KXT 91.7 featuring Sammy Ray and the Friends with special guest Chuck Prophet. So go to that. The date is Thursday, May 14th. Doors open at 6:30, showtime at 7:30, and of course this is at the world famous Longhorn Ballroom in Dallas. Let's see. Stolen Water Media is making a move. Now, we've been doing this for 2+ years. It's time to change and morph to keep up with our growth. Soon, our video, much like our audio, is going to be broadcasted to a number of platforms, and until this migration is complete, you can continue to view all 8 of our podcasts on our Patreon pages. You will also continue to get Al Maximo, Beer 30 Sports O'Clock, the Clubhouse podcast, the Ingle Angle, Just Wondering with Norm Hitzkus, the Signal 51 Chronicles, and Sunset Soccer Club on the YouTube channel at Sunset Lounge DFW. And now you can also get current episodes of Your Dark Companion on the Mike Rhyner / Your Dark Companion YouTube channel at the handle at the Old Gray Wolf 16. You continue to support us in our success. Stick with us as we make our move. And as always, rate us and leave us a review wherever you get our episodes. Share us on your social media and recommend us to your family and friends. We thank you very kindly for your support and your participation. All right, this is Louis Stevens, the well-known keyboard player who is a local guy who's played around here for years and years, but he's also played with a number of major notable stars out there. Now, who have I not mentioned here that you've been with?
Well, after Freddie, I left Freddie about 3 months before he passed to work with Delbert McClinton, another Fort Worth kid.
Love him.
Yeah, Delbert's is, he's another one of a kind.
Yeah. He captures what I think of when I think of Fort Worth music.
Yeah.
Better than anybody I've ever known, because for me, anyway, there is a world of difference between what comes out of Dallas and what comes out of Fort Worth. There always has been, and I really can't define it. I don't even know if I can describe it, but there is a big, big difference between the two for me.
There's a lot of soul in Fort Worth.
Yeah.
And a lot of great musicians have come out of there. You know, Cornell Dupree, that was with Stuff, the guitar player with Stuff, and did all the tons of sessions in New York. King Curtis, Ray Sharp, you know, Linda Lou. There's a deep bench over in Fort Worth. And you see all those people playing locally over there, and it's a big influence. And Delbert was like that. I first saw Delbert as Delbert and Glenn, you know, Glenn Clark and Delbert, playing the Beef and Boogie over there, you know, a little small club off of McCart. And the two Delbert and Glenn albums were just spectacular. That first one especially, you know, that had B-Movie on it and all those songs that they'd written together. As a matter of fact, when Delbert called, I mean, it was time to make a move, and I couldn't have probably moved into a better situation for me, being he was based in Fort Worth. I had a lot of respect for what he had already done. Delbert and Glenn had just parted company, and he was doing a new record on ABC Records with the Memphis Boys. And it was really good, really good. And so I moved into that. First, we were supposed to rehearse, and some of the guys didn't show up. So we got in his old Cadillac and drove to a bank in River Oaks, and he got everybody two $100 bills that did show up. And I said, "Well, can we ride around again tomorrow?" It was a pretty good pay for doing nothing for a day.
Yeah, that is pretty good.
Delbert was another great songwriter.
Yeah,
I mean, he just fabulous songs.
And for me, he just about epitomizes what I see as the difference between something that comes out of Fort Worth and something that comes out of Dallas. And I know I'm not making much sense here. It's really hard for me to put my finger on it. I've been thinking about this for years and years, and I've never come up with a real good way to describe it. But I think you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, Delbert really was the first Americana. You know, he did his songs couldn't be pigeonholed.
Yeah.
And that's why the record companies didn't know what to do with him for very long. I mean, it was a little country, it was a little blues, a little soul. I mean, it was a little bit of everything. That he'd taken all the original American music forms and put them into Delbert McClinton. You know, his sound.
Yeah,
it was a specific, particular, unique sound that he had. He always had a great band. You know, always put together all the way to the end. You know, when he retired, I mean, he had the best band around.
So he's retired now.
He retired a couple of years ago. He went on, not this past January, this January's Sandy Beach's cruise, but he came a year before and got up and did a great set, you know, kind of the farewell set. You know, he sold the cruise a couple of years ago, which helped his retirement too.
Yeah.
To another music charter line. And so Delbert's He slowed down a lot during COVID. He kind of pulled back at that point, and I think the writing was on the wall. It was coming.
Yeah.
You know, he's in his 80s now, and he's lived a good life, and he just enjoys. He just has a ball in Nashville. He's well respected, the statesman. You know, kind of a position.
Yeah. For me, he typifies what I think is the difference, and you just kind of hit on it. You know, it's part soul, part rhythm and blues, part straight ahead blues, dash a little country in there. And I know that sounds like it's some kind of Heinz 57.
And it works.
And it does work. And it's crazy because, you know, it's, 32 miles away from Dallas.
Yeah.
But you don't hear much like that coming out of Dallas. You never have. And if you haven't by now, you probably never will.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody's kind of in a genre, you know, one genre, and don't stray much from that. Where Delbert kind of absorbed all of it, you know, he took it all in. He saw all those great touring acts, Ike and Tina Turner and everything out on Jacksboro Highway, you know, back in the day.
Yeah,
you know, and it was in the opening act for a lot of those people that came through. Ray Charles, I mean, everybody that played out on Jacksboro Highway. And so he absorbed all that. He's a sponge, you know, and then made it his own, you know. And then you combine that with the great songwriting, you know. It was hard to beat. As a matter of fact, Delbert's drummer one time, we were sitting around on the cruise, a bunch of us, and he said, "Why in the world would you leave Freddie King to play with Delbert McClinton?" And I said, "Did you ever hear that first Delbert and Glenn album?"
Yeah.
That's why.
That tells you all you need to know.
That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that he was that unique and that good, and appealed to my soul. So
yeah,
that was a great couple of years. That I played with Delbert two times, formally. But that first round, I mean, we were playing the Lone Star Cafe with all the Saturday Night Live people coming and sitting in. You know, Aykroyd and Belushi on stage. You know, kind of forming the Blues Brothers on stage with us, and I mean it was bringing Bette Midler in to do things, and Doc Pomus, the songwriter, sitting down in the front row watching Delbert. Delbert was the darling in New York City.
Could you tell when Belushi and Aykroyd were up there that they had something up their sleeve here?
Yeah. They just started thinking about that, and they actually. Some people will dispute this, but I've got a Rolling Stone with the story in it. They asked Delbert's band to be their backing band because their first thing that they were going to do was a week at Hollywood Bowl and a week of rehearsal. And they asked Delbert's manager about it. And Delbert's manager, we had just recorded and released Second Wind, the Johnny Sandlin record from Capricorn that the Muscle Shoals rhythm section played on. So he didn't want to take Delbert off the road for 3 weeks. He thought it was a bad idea. He saw them as just wannabe, comedians wanting to be singers. Didn't really see what was coming. so that's how that worked out. But you know, they were always very kind to Delbert. They did B-movie on that first Blues Brothers. I want to say Blood Brothers because of our thing, but Blues Brothers album. So they were real kind to him. Got him on Saturday Night Live, and so it was. They were very appreciative of what Delbert did for him, getting them on stage at the Lone Star.
Who are some other Fort Worth guys that have influenced you or helped you out along the way, or that you've enjoyed working with, or anything like that?
I've enjoyed playing. I used to play a lot of shows with Dave Millsap, a guitar player that played with Delbert. We'd do shows with Ray Sharp, you know, every year, maybe a New Year's date or something like that. We played the Pascal, I think, 50th high school reunion with Ray several years ago. And
Ray Sharp, known as the guy who did Linda Lou.
Yeah. And then different versions of that with different words, different songs. But, yeah, Ray Sharp was great. He was a great entertainer. Cornell Dupree, you know, C.L. Dupree, the guitar player with Stuff.
Yeah.
And that did a lot of records in New York City. With Richard T. and Steve Gadd. You know, they did a lot of recording for other artists, Paul Simon,
and
everybody in the world.
Did you ever find yourself in a session with Gadd?
Never did. Never met the man. Never been in the same room with him, but I sure appreciate his work. He's
As
got
do
the
I.
touch. He's got the touch.
He does.
It's magic.
One of a kind.
Yeah. He's got a lot of good YouTube videos of him with different players, his band, and it's a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, his technique is so fine and just so refined, so advanced, so far ahead of everybody else.
Such a foundation for the song. I mean, it's he's playing music. He's playing notes.
Yeah.
You know, it's more than just rhythm.
Yeah.
You know, he's adding so much.
And he doesn't have to play real hard or real loud to do it, you know?
And he's still doing it.
Yeah, he's still doing it.
At the same level.
Still great as ever.
Yeah.
All right, who are some other Fort Worth cats that you can bring up and tell us about?
Gosh.
I'm really enjoying this trip down the Fort Worth Superhighway.
Town of the Cow.
Well, I can't think of too many more. I think we've kind of talked about most that I've known and played with. Like I say, Ray Sharp and C.L. Dupree. I'd actually played a Caravan of Dreams show with Ray Sharp and Cornell Dupree.
Yeah,
that was a lot of fun.
Were you ever scared when you started playing with all these guys that were really big and really well known?
I really didn't. I never asked anybody for an autograph. I considered myself a contemporary.
Were you nervous about, man, I better not screw this up or anything like that?
No, not really. I had a lot of confidence. I was young, young and dumb.
Yeah.
So I didn't know to be scared. So I just kind of got out there and got with it. Try to give as good as I got.
Well, I'm sure you gave them everything they needed.
I tried. That's I try to make, like I say, be part of the bottom end and keep it going and make it sound better and serve the song, listen to the lyrics, and play behind it what it's supposed to be played, and or at least my concept of it. So,
that's the way to do it, man. That's the way the good players do it. Well, Lewis, thank you for coming over here today, man. It's really been a pleasure having you on, and
it's a very comfortable show. I've enjoyed doing it.
Well, thank you.
We try to keep it cozy.
Yeah, we do. Try to keep it laid back.
This is the same way I record at home in a spare bedroom.
Yeah, it's just kind of we get together and have a shit shoot. That's it.
That's it.
That's what it's all about. That's what we do around here. What do I got to do here, Shoopy?
A little House of Healing, Shoopy.
Okay, let's do a little House of Healing. Direct a little item for those who may be in a little pain out there. If you're walking around, you're hurting, you're not feeling good, but you don't know exactly what it is, you don't know what's causing it, you just know that you really wish it would go away. Well, let us tell you about the CBD House of Healing. Now, you hear CBD, you may think one thing, but it has a very strong medicinal purpose as well. And at the CBD House of Healing, this is what they emphasize. Their owner is a registered nurse. And if you go in there and talk to her about what's going on with you, there's a greater than zero chance that she's got something that will at least make you feel better. I don't know if it'll get rid of it altogether, but it will at least make it a little bit more bearable. And won't you take that, if nothing else? Now, you're probably saying, okay, now how do you know this? Well, the reason I know this is because I found myself in that situation. I've had a remarkably pain-free life, but not too long ago, I found myself in that situation. I didn't know what else to do. So I thought, you're advertising a CBD place. You might as well go in there and see what they've got. So I did. And sure enough, they gave me stuff that worked. They gave me stuff that helped, that made me feel better, and made me able to get through the day with less and very little, if any, pain at all. Now, if they can do that for me, they'll do it for you. So go in there and see them. You got nothing to lose. You got everything to gain, including enjoying a pain-free existence in this world. Go by there and see them. The CBD House of Healing is located at Northwest Highway and Plano Road. They are in the northeast quadrant of that burgeoning intersection. We'd appreciate it if you'd tell them you heard about them from your dark companion. But go in there and see them. See what they can do for you. Like I say, you got little to lose and a pain-free existence to gain at the CBD House of Healing. Is that all we got, Shoopy?
Yeah, I think we can plug a couple of Lewis's gigs that are coming up.
All right, you got any coming up that you need to tell us about, Lewis?
Not anything local, but we on the 25th, Mike Zito band leaves for Joe Bonamassa's cruise. His Blues Alive at Sea, which is just a festival on the water. 4 days of nonstop music, and that's great. And they've got some other smaller shows, and then we do go back with Bill Murray in the band. He joined our band, the Blood Brothers, in Florida toward the end of April. We'll do 4 larger.
The Bill Murray?
The Bill Murray.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Bill wanted to be in a band, and so we invited him to be in our band. So he did 30 shows with us last year. And they were all a lot of fun.
I'll bet.
He's a great guy. He got a great stage presence, loves to play the cowbell. He's a cowbell virtuoso.
Who doesn't?
And it's all great, well and good until he puts it in your ear and hits it in the middle of your solo.
Yeah.
And then it's go to the audiologist and see what happened. What you lose that.
It loses a little luster a little bit.
I've lost all my 4K. I went to check some balance problems recently and met with the audiologist first, and he hands a report to the doctor, and I go in there and the doctor goes, "Have you been in an industrial accident?" I said, "No, but I played with the loudest guitar players for 50 years that were ever known to man."
That'll do it.
Yeah.
That will do
it. We do 4 large theaters, and then we do his Caddyshack charity golf tournament, which he invites people from the Backstreet Boys to Dan Tominski, Brother, Where Art Thou? So it's a fun couple of days.
He is Lewis Stevens. Check him out if you can, because he is good and you will enjoy his fine work, as many have over the years. Can't thank you enough for this, man.
Oh, it was a lot of fun.
All right, now you out there, if you like what we're doing here on Little YDC, what we need you to do is what we mentioned a little while ago. Get us out there, share us, put us on your social media, tell your friends about us. Anytime you're in a conversation with anybody, just interrupt it and say, "Have you seen your dark companion yet?"
What?
Let's do it.
Yeah. Don't worry about
that.
what might happen. Just do it. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I
Social
think-
media trend.
Yes. All right. Let's do it.
Go viral.
Let's
Social
do it.
media.
Let's make it go viral. Make it happen out there. All right. Thanks to everybody for watching. Thank you, Ashley. Thank you, Shoopy. To the rest of you, bye-bye.
All right. I'm gonna go take my pants off.
Your Dark Companion is a Stolen Water Media presentation.